على أنفسهم ولو كان بهم خصاصة ومن يوق شح نفسه فأولئك هم المفلحون والذين جاءوا من بعدهم يقولون ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله.
MashaAllah. We are also fortunate that we have amongst us the nasheed artist Maulana Naeem. Inshallah, I call upon Maulana Naeem.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أصحاب محمد الله عليه وسلم اصحاب محمد حق کے ولی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی اصحاب محمد حق کے ولی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی یاران نبی میں سب سے جلی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی اصحاب محمد حق کے ولی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی یاران نبی میں سب سے جلی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی وہ شمع حرم کے پروانے وہ ختم رسول کے دیوانے وہ شمع حرم کے پروانے وہ ختم رسول کے دیوانے وہ ختم رسول کے دیوانے بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی اصحاب محمد حق کے ولی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی اسلام نے جن کو عزت دی اسلام کو قوت جن سے ملی اسلام نے جن کو عزت دی اسلام کو قوت جن سے ملی ایمان کی روایت جن سے چلی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی اصحاب محمد حق کے ولی بو بکر عمر عثمان و علی ترتیب خلافت بھی ہے یہی ترتیب کی فضیلت بھی ہے یہی ترتیب خلافت بھی ہے یہی، ترتیب فصیلت بھی ہے یہی، لگتی ہے یہی ترتیب بلی، ابوبکر عمر عثمان و علی، اصحاب محمد حق کے ولی، اصحاب محمد حق کے ولی، ابوبکر عمر عثمان و علی، یاران نبی میں سب سے جلی، ابوبکر عمر عثمان و علی، ابوبکر عمر عثمان و علی۔ ہم نے آنکھوں سے دیکھا نہیں ہے مگر، ہم نے آنکھوں سے دیکھا نہیں ہے مگر، ان کی تصویر سینے میں موجود ہے۔ ہم نے آنکھوں سے دیکھا نہیں ہے مگر، ہم نے آنکھوں سے دیکھا نہیں ہے مگر، ان کی تصویر سینے میں موجود ہے۔ جس نے لا کر کلام الہی دیا، جس نے لا کر کلام الہی دیا، وہ محمد مدینے میں موجود ہے، وہ محمد مدینے میں موجود ہے۔ پھول کھلتے ہیں پر کہ صلی علی، پھول کھلتے ہیں پر کہ صلی علی، جھوم کر کہہ رہی ہے عباد صبا، ایسی خوشبو چمن کے گلوں میں کہاں، ایسی خوشبو چمن کے گلوں میں کہاں، جو نبی کے پسینے میں موجود ہے۔ جس نے لا کر کلام الہی دیا، جس نے لا کر کلام الہی دیا، وہ محمد مدینے میں موجود ہے، وہ محمد مدینے میں موجود ہے۔ ہم نے مانا کہ جنت بہت ہے حسین، ہم نے مانا کہ جنت بہت ہے حسین، چھوڑ کر ہم مدینہ نہ جائے کہیں، یوں تو جنت میں سب ہے مدینہ نہیں، یوں تو جنت میں سب ہے مدینہ نہیں، اور جنت مدینے میں موجود ہے۔ جس نے لا کر کلام الہی دیا، جس نے لا کر کلام الہی دیا، وہ محمد مدینے میں موجود ہے۔ ہم نے آنکھوں سے دیکھا نہیں ہے مگر، ہم نے آنکھوں سے دیکھا نہیں ہے مگر، ان کی تصویر سینے میں موجود ہے، ان کی تصویر سینے میں موجود ہے۔ جس نے لا کر کلام الہی دیا، وہ محمد مدینے میں موجود ہے۔
ماشاءاللہ۔ السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، نحمدہ ونصلی علی رسولہ الکریم، اما بعد۔ Respected elders, brothers, friends, mashallah. Maulana Yusuf Sahab has gathered lots of people with short notice. May Allah reward you all. Qari Sahab, खैरियत से हैं आप? बहुत मुद्दत बाद नजर आए हैं। कहाँ हैं आप? आप लोग हमको बुलाते नहीं, हम सारी दुनिया में जाते हैं। मैनचेस्टर हमारे नेबर हैं, लेकिन नेबर वाले बुलाते ही नहीं हमको।
दूसरा आज ही बुक कर लेंगे।
We go around everywhere, alhamdulillah, London, here and there, out of country. Manchester, our neighbors, we are here for you anytime, inshallah. Jazakumullah for inviting me. May Allah give me tawfiq to say something which is beneficial for all of us. Today's topic is about golden generation. Since we've gone quite a bit of time up, that's why I'm not reading any Qurani ayat, just straight to the point. Today's topic is about the golden generation. Golden generation. What is the golden generation? The golden generation of the Sahabah is one. Every era, has golden generation. Our Darul Bari, we feel the golden generation was when Hazrat was there, right in the beginning. The first Jamaats, Hazrat's tawajjuh, attention, Mashayikh, Maulana Hashim Sahab, Mufti Sahab, Maulana Bilal Sahab, other Asatiza, used to get lots of shuyukh and Mashayikh and Buzrugan Deen. We feel that was the golden generation. So every era, every tabaqa has a golden generation. Our deen, Islam, alhamdulillah, 1400 years plus our history. What is our golden generation? The golden generation is the generation of Sahabae Kiraam, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. And we are not saying this, Maulana Yusuf Sahab kept this title, it's in the hadith. Bukhari Sharif's hadith. خير أمتي القرن الذي بعثت فيه ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. The best of generations is that generation in which I was sent. And then those who are following them and those who follow them. 3 generations who said are the best of generations. And Shurrah say over here that this golden generation is not just for Ummati Muhammadiyah, is golden even for before as well. Even before Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, from Adam alayhi salam till the day of Qiyamah, the best generation was that of Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam and his Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. He is the best of Anbiya alayhimus salam and his Sahaba are the best of Sahaba of Anbiya alayhimus salam. Nobody can come close to them, let alone beat them. Now, this is why Allah and His Rasul mentioned so many fadail of Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in in Quran Hadith. Mustaqil books are written for fadail and virtues of Sahaba. When some people began to criticize the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, Salafi Salihin wrote special books on fadail of Sahaba. Abdullah ibn Mubarak wrote one book. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi wrote book Fadail al-Sahaba. In fact, Imam Nasai rahmatullah alayhi, he was in an area where there were lots of Rawafid and they used to criticize Sahaba. So he wrote this book and they jumped on him and they tortured him and they killed him, murdered him just because he wrote about Fadail al-Sahaba ridwanullah alayhim ajma'in. So Salafi Salihin gave lots of sacrifices in order to hold on and uphold to the fadail and the virtues and the excellence and the fadail and manaqib of Sahabae Kiraam ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. Without going into long details, I just want you to remember 5 points. Number 1, Sahabae Kiraam ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in are khayrul qurun, the best of all generations. Keep that point in your mind. Sahaba are khayrul, the best. Million times better than you and me and anyone in this era. Number 2, second point is Sahaba are the wasita and medium between us and Rasul Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Without Sahaba, there's no Quran, there's no Hadith. Who passed on the Quran to us? Who passed on the Hadith to us? Who passed on the Masail to us? They are the medium between us and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Number 3, Quran and Hadith say, حُبُّهُمْ فَرْضٌ وَبُغْضُهُمْ حَرَامٌ كُفْرٌ وَنِفَاقٌ. Love of Sahaba is farz upon us. Farz. And hatred, dislikeness, karahiyat of Sahaba is haram. It is a sign of nifaq, hypocrisy. So we have to love the Sahaba, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. Number 4, we have to have a broader mind and look at the era of Sahaba, how they sacrificed, how they went around the whole world and spread the deen around the world, the futuhati azima, the victories which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them, the tamkeen, the istikhlaf, how Allah established the deen through them. We have to remember that. And number 5, we have to spread the fazail of Sahaba among the ummah. The more we talk about the Sahaba, the more we will love the Sahaba. The more we love the Sahaba, the more we will love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the more we love Rasulullah, we will love Allah. And then we will be strong on our deen and iman. We have to talk about the Sahaba and how they spread the fadail within the ummah. Sidq, amanat, diyanat, khushu', khudu', Ithar, Zuhd fi dunya, Raghbat fil akhirah. They are at the top in everything. You check any good akhlaq, Sahaba will be at the top. And you talk about anything bad, Sahaba will be the furthest away from them. They were the greatest muttaqi, parhezgar you can think of. No wali in the world can come close to Sahaba, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. 5 points, again. Khairul Qur'an. We've talked about that. They are the best of generations. They gave so much sacrifice that we can't give even a portion of that. Imagine when Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam receives that wahi in Ghari Hira. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. He comes down. Khadija radiallahu anha confirms that wahi, his risalah. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu confirms, accepts his message. And he starts off secretly because that is huge risk. Huge risk. There were some others before him who came in these areas and talked about oneness of Allah, and they were immediately shot dead. They gave their lives. His life was at risk as well. So he had to start off secretly. Slowly, gaining momentum. Few Sahaba embraced Islam. Among the first to embrace Islam is Sayyiduna Uthman Ghani radiallahu anhu, as well as Sayyiduna Ali ibn Abi Talib, Sayyiduna Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Sayyiduna Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, Sayyiduna Talha ibn Ubaidillah, Sayyiduna Zubayr ibn al-Awwam radiyallahu anhum, who all went to become the Ashara Mubashshara. Now Talha, Zubayr, Abdul Rahman, these three were wealthy people among the people of Makkah. They were young youth, they had their own businesses, and Abu Bakr Siddiq has his shop and business as well. So they have something common among them. So Sayyiduna Abu Bakr Siddiq invited them and they embraced Islam secretly. They are among the earliest Muslims. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas said, I am the third Muslim. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu was the sixth Muslim. Sayyiduna Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu was the 40th Muslim. Though he embraced Islam after 5 years, in San 5 Nabuwat, but see, for 5 years, only 40 followers. Imagine how much sacrifice they had to go through. And as, people found out, they began to distance themselves from them. In some cases, torture them. Like among the earliest Muslims are Hazrat Bilal Habshi radiallahu anhu, Khabbab ibn al-Arat radiallahu anhu, Ammar ibn Yasir radiallahu anhu. His parents, Yasir and Sumayya, are the first shaheeds in Islam. Now, they gave so much sacrifice. And they supported Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam through thick and thin. And slowly, when Huzur is told, "Fasma bima tu'mar," proclaim what you've been told to do. So he goes on Safa and does i'lan. And mushrikeen now show open hostility. But Sahabah are strong. In the year 7 after Hijrah, Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells them after Nubuwwat, tells them to migrate to Habsha, Ethiopia. So they go there. Mushrikeen, increase their persecution and they make a social boycott of Banu Hashim. And those who had believed in Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, along with those among Banu Hashim who had not believed, but because of their family unit, they were supporting Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They all went into Shi'bi Abi Talib, Khayf Bani Kinana. 3 years, very tough time. Then after 3 years, in the 10th Nubuwwat, Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam comes out and Sahaba from that boycott, and boycott is taken away. And then 3 years after that, in the 13th year after Nubuwwat, they migrate to Medina Sharif. And then in Medina Sharif, Sahaba from Makkah come down, and those who had embraced Islam here and there, one here, 2 here, few there, they all come to Medina Sharif. Now Medina Sharif, they get some strength, they get some sukoon, some peace of mind, no persecution, no torture, no threat of life, no risk. So calmly, smoothly they can advance. But the mushrikeen of Makkah don't want to let them sit in peace. They travel 400 kilometers from Makkah to Medina Sharif in order to annihilate the Muslims. They come with a strong force of 1,000 in the Battle of Badr, and here the first strategic huge battle takes place. Allah gains the Sahaba victory. And at that time, Sahaba were few in number, they had no weapons, their lives were at risk, but they didn't care. They said, we have to stay with Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this made this Battle of Badr, strategic battle, and the Sahaba of Badr, the best among the Sahaba. Jibreel alayhi salam once, Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him that he asked Jibreel alayhi salam, vice versa, who are the best among the Sahaba? And Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, those who were with me in the Battle of Badr. And Jibreel alayhi salam said, that's what we feel about the Malaika who participated in the Battle of Badr. Those Malaika are also the best of Malaika. Then happens Uhud. Again Mushrikeen come from Makkah to attack Medina. And then Battle of Khandaq. 10,000 Mushriks come, form an alliance. And Jaziratul Arab had never seen an army of 10,000 because there was tribalism, small tribes. But to form an alliance, get this tribe together, that tribe, this tribe, that tribe, and form an alliance and come to Medina and finish Medina off. Huzur was scared as well. Sahaba was scared. He made mashwara, what shall we do? And the trenches were dug. Because Medina is surrounded by mountains. And there are small pathways into Medina. A large army cannot enter from them. There was only one area which was wide enough for a large army to enter Medina. So that area was the one where there was huge risk. So Hazrat Salman Farsi gave the advice, dig some trenches, so they are held up on that side. They can't go on the mountains and come down because that's too risky. Sahaba would finish them off while they are coming down. They need to form a run and form an attack. They can't do it. Allah Pak gave Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave mashwara. And then the mushrikeen are here. And still there is huge risk. From the front, there's the 10,000 mushriks. They secretly go to Banu Qurayza from behind and they tell them to break off their alliance with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and form alliance with the mushrikeen. And they commit treason and they go with them. Now there is even more risk. Quran mentioned this in Surah Al-Ahzab. وإذ زاغت الأبصار وبلغت القلوب الحناجر وتظنون بالله الظنون. हाय कलेजा मुंह को आ गया और जिगर फटने लगा. अल्लाह, eyes are open, staring. मर गए, पीछे से ये अटैक करेंगे, आगे से वो आएंगे, हम तो खत्म बीच में, we're going to be finished. And هنالك ابتلي المؤمنون وزلزلوا زلزالا شديدا. Mu'mineen were tested, they were shaken. Who were shaken? Not the earlier Muslims. They had seen Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They knew that everything is going to be fine. But bichare jo new Muslim converts, they were a bit shaken. And the munafiqeen, they were making fun, mockery, laughing their heads off and making istihza and fun. However, after 3 weeks, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the alliance, broke the alliance, mushrikeen ran off. And now, Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam felt that, alhamdulillah, we feel safe now. In fact, at that moment, he predicted, Al-an naghzuhum wa la yaghzunana. Now we will attack, they won't be able to come back to attack us. So after some 5 Hijri, Battle of Khandaq, Mushrikeen Makkah could not come to attack Medina Sharif. Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam advanced in Sulh Hudaybiyah, and they did not let him do Umrah. He came back. In the year 7, he went to Makkah, he did Umrah, and in the year 8, Mushrikeen broke their agreement, and the 10-year agreement was broken. Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam was allowed to go and conquer Makkah. He conquered Makkah Mukarramah. At this moment, in the conquest of Makkah, there were 10,000 Sahabah. In Badr, there was only 313. And now, in the year 8, just after 6 years, 10,000 Sahabah. And then, in Battle of Hunayn, 12,000. And then in the year 9, Tabuk was about 900 kilometers away, 1 month journey on camels, going and 1 month coming back. Nabi Pak had to travel there because to eliminate the risk of the Roman Emperor Hercules Caesar. So he went there, and in the Battle of Tabuk with him were how many Sahaba? 30,000. And then in the year 10 Zulhijjah, when Nabi Pak went to perform Hajj, around him in the Maidan of Arafat, there were no mushriks in the Hajj. Mushriks were told in the year 9 that from next year, no mushrik will be allowed to perform Hajj, no mushrik will be allowed to do Tawaf of Kaaba. Shirk has been eradicated. You have 4 months to stay here and embrace Islam, or to leave this area and go wherever you want. But mushrikeen will not be allowed to live in Jaziratul Arab now. Alhamdulillah, whole Jazira Arab was cleansed, purified, cleaned from shirk. So in the year 10 after Hijrah, Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam went for Hajjatul Wada, and how many Sahabas around him? Abu Zur'a Razi said there were over 100,000 Sahaba around Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam in Maidan Arafat when he was in Jabal Rahmat. These are the Sahabah, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. Now, you see how it started. The earlier Sahaba, Sayyiduna Abu Bakr, Sayyiduna Umar, Sayyiduna Uthman, Sayyiduna Ali, Khulafai Rashideen, the Ashara Mubashshara. After these 4, Sayyiduna Talha, Sayyiduna Zubair, Sayyiduna Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Sayyiduna Sa'id ibn Zayd, Sayyiduna Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, Sayyiduna Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. These 10 are the best of the Sahaba. Huzur gave them basharat of Jannat in dunya in one majlis. And they are sitting there in front of him. And he is saying, Abu Bakr fil Jannah, Umar fil Jannah, Uthman fil Jannah, Ali fil Jannah, Talha fil Jannah, Zubair fil Jannah, Abdul Rahman ibn Auf fil Jannah, Abu Ubaidah Amr ibn Jarrah fil Jannah, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas fil Jannah, Sa'id ibn Zayd fil Jannah. In one sitting, these are the 10. That's why they are called Ashara Mubashshara. And best. And then, because they were the earliest Muslims. They had given so much for the sake of Deen, Iman, Islam. And this is why Allah said, والسابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه وأعد لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ذلك الفوز العظيم. They are sabiqeen awwaleen, the earliest, the first. They are the best. Allah said, Muhajirin and Ansar. Because Ansar also came to Makkah in the year 10 after Nubuwwat, 3 years before Hijrah. And secretly in the passageway between two mountains, they went in that pass, invited Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the darkness of the night. And they sat with him, listened to him, and secretly they pledged their allegiance, embraced Islam. Second year again. Third year, they said, now you have to come to us, we will support you. So the Ansar, they are all also from As-Sabiqun Al-Awwalun, the earliest generations. Min al-Muhajirin wal-Ansar. And then وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ. Those who followed them in good way, with good amal and good conduct. Allah said, رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. This is why whenever we take the name of a Sahabi, what are we supposed to say? رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُ. Why? Because Allah is saying it, right? Who are we not to say it? Why should we not say radiyallahu anhu with their names? So, whenever we take name of Sahabi, any Sahabi, we have to say radiyallahu anhu, radiyallahu anhu, radiyallahu anhu. Because Allah said it, وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي تَحْتَهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. They are the Sabiqeen awwali. Allah said, لا يستوي منكم من أنفق من قبل الفتح وقاتل أولئك أعظم درجة من الذين أنفقوا من بعد وقاتلوا وكلا وعد الله الحسنى والله بما تعملون خبير. Fatih Makkah, Allah said, those who embraced Islam before Fatih Makkah, conquest of Makkah, and who spent in the path of Allah, and those who embrace Islam afterwards, they cannot be equal to the first. Even among the Sahabah, Allah is saying, those who embrace Islam after Fatih Makkah, they cannot be equal to those who embrace Islam before. And أُولَٰئِكَ أَعْظَمُ دَرَجَةً مِنَ الَّذِينَ أَنفَقُوا مِن بَعْدُ وَقَاتَلُوا. Their rank is much, much greater than these. وَكُلًّا وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى. To every Sahabi, Allah has promised Al-Husna. Al-Husna, لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا الْحُسْنَى وَزِيَادَةً. Jannah. Allah has promised beautiful reward, Jannah, to each and every Sahabi. Allah said it, وَكُلًّا وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرٌ. In fact, Maulana Muhammad Nafi' Sahab, who's written very nice books about Sahaba, he writes a very nice point. That Allah said, وَكُلًّا وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى. To every Sahabi, Allah has promised Al-Husna, beautiful reward. And in the other place, Allah said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ سَبَقَتْ لَهُم مِّنَّ الْحُسْنَى أُولَٰئِكَ عَنْهَا مُبْعَدُونَ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ حَسِيسَهَا وَهُمْ فِي مَا اشْتَهَتْ أَنفُسُهُمْ خَالِدُونَ لَا يَحْزُنُهُمُ الْفَزَعُ الْأَكْبَرُ وَتَتَلَقَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ هَٰذَا يَوْمُكُمُ الَّذِي كُنتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. हाय हाय क्या बात कर दी अल्लाह ने. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ سَبَقَتْ لَهُم مِّنَّ الْحُسْنَى. Those for whom Al-Husna has been established and set and promised from before. أُولَٰئِكَ عَنْهَا مُبْعَدُونَ. They will be distanced from it, meaning from Jahannam. لَا يَسْمَعُونَ حَسِيسَهَا. They won't even hear the hissing of Jahannam, let alone the roaring and the punishment and the azab and the fire of Jahannam. Not even the hissing, hasisaha. وَهُمْ فِي مَشْتَهَتْ أَنفُسُهُمْ خَالِدُونَ. They will be in Jannah in whatever their nafs desires and likes. لَا يَحْزُنُهُمُ الْفَزَعُ الْأَكْبَرُ. Even the greatest terror will not sadden them, grieve them, affect them. وَتَتَلَقَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. Malaika will be receiving them. هَذَا يَوْمُكُمُ الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. This is the day which you were promised. So Maulana Muhammad Nafi' Sahab said, 2 and 2 is 4. If you connect that ayat with this ayat, this means Sahaba are the first and foremost in this ayat. سَبَقَتْ لَهُم مِّنَّ الْحُسْنَى أُولَٰئِكَ عَنْهَا مُبْعَدُونَ. And perhaps this is why Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, لا تمس النار مسلما رآني أو رآ من رآني أو رآ من رآ من رآني. Jahannam's fire will not touch a Muslim, a proper Muslim who had Islam, Iman in his heart. Fire of Jahannam will not touch that Muslim who saw me, who's my Sahabi. And one who saw me, Tabi'i. and one who saw those who saw me. Tabi tabi. This is where we explain the definition of a Sahabi. Who is a Sahabi? Hafiz ibn Hajar al-Asqalani rahmatullahi alayhi, after a long discussion in his book Al-Isabah fi Tamyiz al-Sahaba, writes, "As-Sahabiyyu man laqiya an-nabiy sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mu'minan bihi wa mata ala al-Islam." A Sahabi is one who met Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam whilst believing in him, and he died with Islam, is a Sahabi. Finish. He is a Sahabi. Sahabiyyat. Even if he just saw a glimpse of him, let alone staying with him for 23 years, like Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. Even if someone saw Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Hajjatul Wada, he was sitting on the camel and he saw him from a distance, he is a Sahabi. So just meeting him, even if he was blind, he didn't see him with his eyes, but he met him, he embraced Islam, that he is a Sahabi. Many Sahaba were blind. So, meeting Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the state of Islam and remaining on the state of Islam till death makes a person Sahabi. These are the Sahaba, and they are the best of our generations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the verse which our Tabligh Jamaat reads regularly, "Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhawna 'anil munkar وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ." You are the best of ummahs. You command good, forbid evil. You believe in Allah as you should believe, proper belief. Now, this kuntum khayra ummah, who are the first and foremost addressees of this address? You and me first, or Sahaba first? Sahaba, they were the recipients of Quran. Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reading the Quran to them. They are told kuntum khayra ummati. And Mufassirin say kuntum here means antum. Sometimes kuntum kana is used for anda. So kuntum khayra ummati means antum khayra ummati. Kana is probably used to say that fi ilmillah. Even in the ilm of Allah, long before Allah created the world, Allah knew from before that you are the best of ummahs. So this was our first point. What was it? Sahaba are the golden generation, the best of generations. No one can come close to them. Number two, humul wasita baynana wa bayna Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They are the medium. They learned from Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They studied. Who cleansed and purified their hearts? First and foremost from kufr and shirk, and then from fisq, fujur, from bad habits, bad manners. Who brought into them good manners, good akhlaq, good behavior? Who is their teacher? Who is their muallim? Who is their ustad? هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين. Rasulullah is their teacher. He was reading Quran to them directly, fresh. Jibreel has just come and delivered the verses. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam lifts his head and he says, these verses have just been revealed, and he starts reciting, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Inna a'tainaka al-kawthar, fasalli li rabbika wanhar, inna shani'aka huwal abtar. Beautiful, smallest surah of Quran. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud says, we were with Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam in one of the caves on the mountains around Mina, around Makkah. And he was reciting Suratul Mursalat. It was just revealed then and then. It was as fresh as it could be. Ghaddan. And he was reciting Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim wal mursalati urfa fal asifati asfa wal nashirati nashra fal fariqati farqa fal mulqiyati dhikra udhran aw nudhra innama tu'aduna lawaqi' fa idha an-nujumu tumisat wa idha as-sama'u furijat wa idha al-jibalu nusifat wa idha ar-rusulu uqitat li ayyi yawmin ujjilat li yawmil fasl wa ma adraka ma yawmul fasl waylun yawma Hi, beautiful. We were receiving it fresh. And then suddenly a snake came out. So we rushed to kill it. And the snake ran back and slithered back into its hole. After finishing Qiraat, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Wuqiyat sharrakum kama wuqitum sharraha." You were saved from its evil as it was saved from your evil. So surahs used to be revealed, Sahaba used to get them fresh. And Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was a very busy man. From day one, he had established a madrasa in Darul Arqam. Al-Arqam ibn Abil Arqam is one of the earliest Sahabas. And he had a large haveli. And it was very nice and spacious. He said to Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that, Ya Rasulullah, why don't you come in my house, my haveli, my house, and sit there, and everybody who wants to meet you will come there, and secretly nobody will find out. It's surrounded by fence. You can teach people there. So Huzur used to go there. Whoever embraced Islam would go there, and they would study Quran from Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They would study Muslim Masail, Namaz, Masail, Tahara, Ghusl, Paki, Safai, Halal, Haram, Jaiz, Najaiz. In Makkah Mukarramah, the first madrasa was Darul Arqam ibn Abil Arqam. He used to teach Sahaba like an Ustadji teaches a young boy. Ustadji teaches, he first class, teaches Masla Masail, Maktab, Darul Ulum, Hadith Sharif, Tafsir. Similarly, Huzur used to sit with Sahaba throughout the day and he would teach them. And then after migrating Hijrah to Medina Sharif, Masjid Nabawi was the madrasa as well. Ashabi Sufa, they used to sit with Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When you read Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's day, a life in the day of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Al-Yawmun Nabawiyyu, Al-Sharif, you will see that after Fajr, he does his dhikr azkar, stays there for a while until Ishraq. When the sun rises beautifully, that's when he finishes his awrad and azkar and wazaif. And then he gets up. He goes out. There are children outside holding some, bartan vessels with water in there. And Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam dips his barakati hand in there, and they take that water to the home and drink that throughout the day and use it for cooking, etc. How much Sahaba loved Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And then Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would go to his wife's houses, meet them. If he was not fasting, he would have some breakfast, something to eat. And then after that, he would come back to the masjid. And there would be Sahaba sitting there. He would sit with them, he would teach them. That's when his madrasa would start. And he would be busy till Zohar. After Zohar, he would go home, have something to eat, qailula, sleep for a bit, and then he's back in the masjid. This is where we get those ahadith. Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came in the masjid. There were a few halqas. There was one halqa of zikr, people sitting, making du'as, awrad, azkar, awrad. Another halqa circle of ta'aleem and education. So Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam saw both and he said, كل هؤلاء على خير أما هؤلاء فيدعون الله سبحانه وتعالى ويرغبون إليه فإن شاء أعطاهم وإن شاء منعهم وأما هؤلاء فيعلمون وإنما بعثت معلما ثم جلس معهم أو كما قال عليه السلام. Both groups are doing good. These are doing zikr of Allah, crying to Allah, doing awrad, waza'i, good. And these are here teaching, educating one another. And I have been sent as an educator, teacher, and he sat with them. So they used to have halaqat. And Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And on other occasions he sat with the Zakiri. He came in the masjid and there was a halqa of zikr taking place. So he entered the masjid, he sat in that halqa circle of zikr. And he said, Alhamdulillah, alladhi ja'ala fi ummati man amarani an asbira nafsi ma'ahum. He made in my ummah such people, how he told me to sit with them as well. And then he recited the verse of Surah Al-Kahf, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ عَنْهُمْ تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا تُطِعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبَهُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. He sat with the Zakiri. So, Sahaba, Ridwanullahi Majma'een, who taught them directly, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And why did he teach them? Just to learn and stop? No, to pass it on. This is why he gave so much encouragement for passing on. He said, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. Deliver from me, even if it's only one ayah you can deliver to someone. And in Hajjatul Wada, he said, لِيُبَلِّغِ الشَّاهِدُ مِنْكُمُ الْغَائِبِ. Those who are present should deliver this message to those who are absent. And Sahaba spread out. There were over, when Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam died, there were over 124,000 Sahaba. But you go to Medina Sharif, in Jannatul Baqi, there's only 10,000 Sahabiyat buried there. Where are all the others? They spread around the globe. They went and they practiced on this instruction of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Go out and deliver the message. If it was not for them, then you and I would not be a Muslim. How would Islam come to our lands if there was no Sahaba Ridwanullahi Majma'een? Those Sahaba who brought Islam to our Asian subcontinent, Uthman ibn Abi al-As as-Saqafi, and they were among those who arrived first in Sindh and Hind and those areas. Qusam ibn Abbas, his grave is in Uzbekistan, thousands of miles away from Medina Sharif. Sa'id ibn Uthman ibn Affan, his grave is in Uzbekistan, in Samarkand. Sahaba, they came there. Qutayba ibn Muslim al-Bahili, they brought Islam there. They spread Islam as far as they could. And because of their barakat, we got Islam. So, Sahaba are the medium between us and Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is why Abu Zur'a al-Razi Rahmatullahi Alayhi said, if you see someone criticizing Sahaba, then know that he is a zindiq. His deen is corrupt. He is kharab. His deen is fasid. Because these people are not criticizing the Sahaba. They want to criticize the Prophet ﷺ, but they cannot get to the Prophet, so they criticize Sahaba. He said, they are our shuhud, our witnesses. They are between us and Nabi ﷺ. They want to destroy this medium of Sahaba Ridwanullahi Majma'een. Hazrat Qadi Muhammad Tayyib Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi said that if there is a building of, let's say, 14 floors, and you destroy the foundation, then the whole 14 floors will collapse. We have our history of 1400 years, and our foundation are the Sahaba. If you put dynamite on the Sahaba and demolish the foundation, the whole building of 1400 years will collapse. You can't criticize the Sahaba. They are the medium between us and Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Number 3 point I mentioned. Which was the first point? They are Khairul Qurun. Second point, they are the medium between us and Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They delivered the deen to us. Number 3, Hubbuhum Fardun, Bughduhum Nifaq. Imam Tahawi said this in Al-Aqidatul Tahawiyya. He says, Sahaba's love is farz. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Allah, Allah fi ashabi. لا تتخذوهم غرضا من بعدي من أحبهم فبحبي أحبهم ومن أبغضهم فببغضي أبغضهم ومن آذاهم فقد آذاني ومن آذاني فقد آذى الله ومن آذى الله فيوشك أن يأخذه رواه الترمذي. Allah, Allah fi ashabi. Fear Allah regarding my Sahaba. Don't make them targets after I die. Whoever loves them, then it is because of my love that he loves them. He loves me, so he loves my Sahaba. And whoever hates them, then it is because of my hatred. He hates me, that's why he's hating my Sahaba. And whoever hurts them has hurt me. And whoever hurts me has hurt Allah. And whoever hurts Allah, then very quickly Allah will seize him. You see, Sahaba's love is first, it's wajib, it's compulsory. We have to love the Sahaba, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. Whichever Sahabi it is. Sayyiduna Abu Bakr, Sayyiduna Umar, Sayyiduna Uthman, Sayyiduna Ali, Ummahatul Mumineen, Sayyidatuna Aisha, Sayyidatuna Hafsa, Sayyidatuna Salama, Sayyidatuna Zainab, radiyallahu anhunna ajma'in. Other Sahaba, Sayyiduna Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, Sayyiduna Amr ibn al-As, Sayyiduna Mughira ibn Shu'bah, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. Sayyiduna Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, radiyallahu anhu. All the Sahaba, we have to love each and every Sahaba. Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, La tasubbu wa sahabi. Don't swear at any of my Sahaba. فَلَوْ أَنَّ أَحَدَكُمْ أَنْفَقَ مِثْلَ أُحُدٍ ذَهَبًا مَا بَلَغَ مُدَّ أَحَدِهِمْ وَلَا نَصِيفَهُ. If one of you was to spend gold equivalent to the weight of Mount Uhud, he cannot reach the one mud, half a kilo, 2 kilos, one mud, or 2 ratal, 1 kilo of what they spend in the path of Allah. Because of their ikhlas, their sincerity. Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu once said, O people, you fast more than the Sahaba, you pray more than the Sahaba, but they were better than you. He said, why? And he replied, كَانُوا أَزْهَدَ مِنْكُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَأَرْغَبَ مِنْكُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. Because they had more zuhd in dunya than you, and they had more raghbat in akhirah than you. They never fell for this dunya. The whole world fell at their feet. You know, Abu Masud al-Badri radiyallahu anhu said, there was a time when Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam would encourage us to give some sadaqah, and we would have nothing to give. One of us would go to a Yahudi's well, and he would draw a bucket of water for his bar and his orchard and his palm trees. And for every bucket he drew, he would get 1 dirham. So we would struggle and draw a few buckets, get those few dirhams, and give Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam to sadaqah those few dirhams. And he said, today, that same person has 100,000 dirham in the corner of his house. He was talking about himself. Another Sahabi said, we were in that state. We didn't have enough clothes to cover our bodies. And today, each and every one of us has become an Amir of a city, an Amir of an area. Allah bless them. But they never changed. They remained as they were. Their zuhd fi dunya, raghbat fil akhirah, their ibadah, their devotion, their worship, their connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was second to none. So, Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een, we have to love them. We talk about them. You know, there are various books about Sahaba. One of the largest books is in which Sahaba are mentioned is Siyar A'lam al-Nubala of Zahabi. Another one is Al-Isaba fi Tamyiz al-Sahaba. And before them both is Ibn Abdul Barr's Al-Isti'ab fi Ma'rifat al-Ashab. Now you can't go to read all these. People don't read these days. We're on Google and Facebook and social media all the time. Tawbah, 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 astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Million times, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. But you can read small books. Read Fazail-e Amal, Hazrat Shaykh. Hikayat-e-Sahaba. Hikayat-e-Sahaba. The first book in Fazail-e Amal is Hikayat-e-Sahaba. Go over that whole book. Read it in front of your kids. They will feel the love of Sahaba coming in their hearts. You know, I was with my friend here by Goga at his house, and he said, "Kaun si country mein gaye the bhai?" Philippines. In Philippines. And he said he went to a remote area. There was a small masjid. And there were maybe 10 people can pray in there. And he looked around the shelf. There were some Qurans, and there was Fazail-e Amal English in there. Ya Allah. Maqbuliyat of Hazrat Shaykh Zakaria. Read Hikayat-e-Sahaba to your kids. This will bring the love of Sahaba in their hearts. We have to talk about the Sahaba. Stories of Sahaba. Stories bring love of Sahaba in our hearts. So we have to love the Sahaba. Never hate Sahaba. Never hate even a smallest Sahabi, right? Let alone an elder Sahabi. Abu Bakr, Umar. Some people, Rawafis, Na'uz billah, they hate Sayyiduna Abu Bakr, Sayyiduna Umar, Sayyiduna Uthman, Sayyidatuna Aisha, Sayyidatuna Hafsa. Their hatred goes to a deep lowest of the low levels, to the extent that they call them Na'uz billah kafir. Kafir. Abu Bakr was kafir, Umar was kafir, Aisha was kafir, Hafsa was kafir. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. How can you hate the Sahaba? And this is why one of our Akabirs said that, if you ask the Yahud, who are the best among your ummah, what will they say? The Sahaba of Musa alayhi salam. Those who crossed the sea and saved were from Fir'aun by Allah, the Sahaba of Musa alayhi salam. They were the best. You ask Isa alayhi salam's ummah Christians, who are the best among your ummah, and they will say the Hawariyin of Isa alayhi salam, they are the best. The disciples, they revere them, respect them. But when you ask the Rawafis, the Shia, who are the worst among your ummah, they will say they were the Sahaba. They will call them kafir, na'uz billah. Kulaini has written in his book that inna as-sahabata kulluhum irtaddu ba'da Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam illa thalatha. Man hum? Miqdad, Salman, Abu Dhar. All the Sahaba became murtad, na'uz billah, after Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, except three. And he said the names Salman, Abu Zar and Miqdad. Now we asked them, there's no Ali in there, Fatima is not in there. He said only three, where is their names gone? He said, दिमाग खराब हो गया ना साहब, जब दिमाग चटक जाता है, चकरा जाता है, को पता ही नहीं क्या उल्टे फोल बातें करता है इंसान. So how can you hate Sahaba to this level? They were the best of our ummah, bhai. But these people hate the Sahaba. May Allah guide them. May Allah guide them. And their hatred for Sayyiduna Muawiyah, oh Allah. I just saw some video the other day. In Sham, Syria, Sayyiduna Muawiyah's qabr, a long time ago, the Ahlus Sunnah, they fortified it, surrounded it with proper marble and metal mesh and everything. And these Rawafis are there, and they are hitting his grave with slippers and saying lanat and curse on Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. They don't know what that Muawiyah radiallahu anhu is. Sayyiduna Muawiyah radiallahu anhu is the brother-in-law of Rasul Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. His sister Habiba bint Abi Sufyan was married with Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he was Katibi Wahi. Sometimes Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would call him and he would write the wahi down. Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, gave him dua. He said, Allahumma ja'alhu hadiyan mahdiya. Oh Allah, make Muawiyah a guide who is rightly guided himself. And Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam prophesied. He said, Muawiyah, if Allah makes you a governor, then be nice and gentle with those under your care. And he says, I remember that nasiyat. When he said, if Allah makes you a governor, I knew that Allah is going to make me a governor. Until Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu made him governor of Sham. He stayed governor of Sham after Hazrat Umar had appointed him in Sham, and throughout the Khilafat of Uthman, throughout the Khilafat of Ali, for 20 years, he was the governor of Sham, Syria. Hazrat Umar would not let any governor stay in one country, one area for more than 4 years. He would keep changing them. But Muawiyah, he never changed him, because he knew his capabilities, that he was able to look after Sham. And when Sayyiduna Ali Karamallahu Wajhahu was martyred by the Khawarij, and Hassan ibn Ali Karamallahu Wajhahu handed over the Khilafat to Sayyiduna Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, he remained Amir of Muslimin and Amirul Mu'mineen for 20 more years. So 40 years of his governorship, 20 years as governor of Sham and 20 years as Amir. Our Hazrat Sheikh Yunus Sahib rahmatullahi alayhi used to say, Hazrat Muawiyah radiyallahu anhu Khulafai Rashideen mein se to nahi hai, lekin afzalu muluk al-Islam hai. He is not from the Khulafai Rashideen, but he is the best among the kings and the rulers of Islam. No ruler, no Amir can come close to him. Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave dua to the first group, first army which will sail in the sea and cross the sea and go to the other side to fight the enemies. Sayyiduna Muawiyah radiallahu anhu is the first to do this Ghazwatul Bahr in the time of Sayyiduna Uthman Ghani radiallahu anhu. He asked Hazrat Umar permission to cross the ocean and go to the other side. But Hazrat Umar was a bit scared, apprehensive. He said, no, establish over in Jaziratul Arab and our area first, then we'll think about the other side. Sayyiduna Uthman became Khalifa, he gave him permission. Sayyiduna Umar or Muawiyah went across, and he was among the first to cross the ocean to go to the other side, Cyprus and Qabrus area. So Sayyiduna Muawiyah, and he spread Islam. There was a little bit of scuffle between him and Sayyiduna Ali karamallahu wajhahu, but that was based on misunderstanding. We all have our misunderstandings. In spite of these misunderstandings, they were cousins. He's from Quraysh, and Hazrat Ali is from Quraysh. They had love, mutual understanding, love for one another. But some misunderstanding happened. Hazrat Maulana Nafi' Sahab has quoted one riwayat. Someone said to Sayyiduna Muawiyah radiyallahu anhu that why do you have a grudge with Ali? And Sayyiduna Muawiyah replied, I don't have any grudge against him. We are brothers. I'm just asking for one thing. I'm asking that those who murdered Uthman have surrounded Ali and they are influencing him. If he can hand them over to me, I will go today and give my pledge, my allegiance to him. He is the right Khalifa, he is the right Amir. So that person went to Sayyidina Ali and said, Muawiyah said this. And Hazrat Ali said, no, I can't hand them over to him. So this was misunderstanding. Sayyidina Ali was saying, give me time, we'll sort things out. Sayyidina Muawiyah is hastening, he said, no, time is running out. You have to get the revenge for the blood of Uthman from Qatilin Uthman. This misunderstanding happened. In spite of this, we read that once the Roman emperor wrote to Muawiyah that, oh Muawiyah, I know you have your battles and disagreements with Ali. If you ever need any help, then let me know, I'll send you reinforcements. And Sayyidina Muawiyah was really angry. And he said, oh Rumi kutte, tu kya samajhta hai humko? Khabardar jo ainda aisa khat likha. I said, don't even think of that. Myself and Muawiyah, we are both units. Myself and Ali, we are both one. If you happen to advance towards us and Hazrat Ali forms an army to tackle you, Muawiyah will be the first soldier in his army. They had that love. This misunderstanding, but they never had any grudges for one another. When Sayyidina Ali's death news reached Muawiyah, Muawiyah cried his eyes out. He cried and he cried and he cried. And he said, today the Ummah has been deprived of great ilm and knowledge and virtue and fadilat of this great personality who was murdered by the Khawarij. So they had a love among themselves. What happens is, in our Islamic history, on one side we have Ahadith Sharifa, Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. On the other side we have Tarikh, historical events. Now, Hadith has a chain of narration. So you can scrutinize the Hadiths. But Tarikh does not have any chain of narration. Tarikh includes everything Ratbu Yabis. Everything and anything, blah, 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 blah. Muarrikheen blurt out anything they want. They want to make their book, dilchasp, readable, interesting. So they add many things to it. And sadly, the Rawafis, took over that field and they fabricated many things and added them into the history of our Deen Islam. And that's where all these differences and all these grudges and arguments and, fairy tales came from, of fights between Ali and Muawiyah. There was little bit of misunderstanding, and that was also over Hazrat Hassan radiyallahu anhu, who was the successor of his father Ali. Sayyidina Ali became Khalifa in the year 35 after Hijrah. And he was martyred by the Kharijis in the year 40 after Hijrah, 5 years of his reign. People did not let him rule in peace, right? There was so much going on. Otherwise, if Sayyidina Ali got the same mahol environment which Sayyidina Abu Bakr and Umar had got, then he would have taken Islam to another level. But there was so much chaos and commotion going on. That's why he was unable to take it ahead. So there was so many things going on around him. And in his era, the Jang-e-Jamal, Battle of Jamal took place, Battle of Siffin took place. Sayyidina Ali then tackled the Khawarij. You know, with Sayyidina Ali, there were two types of people, which Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had prophesied. In the hadith of Mishkat Sharif, Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Ali, in you is some resemblance with Isa alayhi salam. He said, with Isa, some people loved him so much that they rose him to divinity, called him God and Son of God. And others hated him so much that they slandered his mother and they called him, Na'uz billah, harami and illegitimate child. So in you as well, there will be two groups. Sayyidina Ali then went on to say, Yahliku fiyya ithnan. Two people will be destroyed regarding me. One who will love me and go to extreme in my love, and he will praise me with things that are not in me, and I'm not worthy of that praise. And other who will hate me, and my hatred will urge him to criticize me and blame me with things which I have not done or said. And he was indicating towards two groups, Rawafiz, Khawarij. Rawafiz claimed to love him so much that they took him beyond his ranking. Now, in Rawafiz, there are nearly 28 sects, groups. They differ about Sayyidina Ali Karamullah Wajhah. Some say Sayyidina Ali was the original Khalifa. Abu Bakr and Umar snatched Khilafat away from him, they didn't let him become Khalifa. Others say, no, that's not right. He was only better than them. Otherwise, the Khalifa Mustahiq was Abu Bakr Umar. Others say that Sayyidina Ali was above all that, above the Sahabah. He was equal to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there are some Ismaili Bohra Shias who say, as we see in Gujarati, Jibreel wahi lene aata tha, Muhammad rashtammal adu pakadai di. Jibreel was coming with the wahi. He met Muhammad on the way, so he gave it to Muhammad instead of Ali. So the original prophet is Ali, but Jibreel made a mistake. By mistake, he made Muhammad Khalil. We say, oh bhai, kehta to diwana, sunda bhi diwana. When wahi came, Hazrat Ali was a 10-year-old boy, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a 40-year-old grown-up man with a beard. Could Ali not differentiate between a 10-year-old boy and a 40-year-old man? How could he get mistake between the two? Use your brain, right? Then some people say that Ali was better than Muhammad. And there were some who used to say that Ali was God. Even today they say Ali Mawla, Ali Mawla, Ali Mawla, Ali Mawla. When they say Ali Mawla, what they mean? Ali is God. And these people were in the time of Hazrat Ali himself. There is a hadith in Mishkat Sharif that some of these people were brought to Hazrat Ali. And they said, you are our God. So Hazrat Ali said, Bhai, I am not God. I am just a human being. Don't say that. And he said, no. Hazrat, you are our Khuda. You are our creator. Aap hamare Khuda. So Hazrat Ali Karamah just, look, I'm telling you here, in front of you, I am not God. You do tawbah, otherwise I'm going to punish you. I'm going to light a fire in there and throw you in the fire. And they said, Ji Hazrat, aap hamare Khuda hain, aap hame aag mein jala sakte hain. Hazrat, you are our God and you can burn us in the fire if you want. Hazrat Ali said, इनका दिमाग दिया. Hazrat ने हुक्म दिया, आग जलाओ और इनको उसको फेंको उसमें. फेंका उसमें जला दिया. उन्हें जल गए. इतने जिद्दी stubborn, they were so stubborn, they jumped in the fire, they fell, but they didn't do tawbah. This is happening in front of Hazrat Ali Karamullah Wajhah. This is how their mind was corrupted. And you get people today who call Ali Khuda. So this is what Huzur was referring to. One group will exaggerate in your muhabbat and they will take you high above your level which is not yours. And the other group will take you down and they will criticize you, and that's the Khawarij. Khawarij called Hazrat Ali Kafir. Kharijis. They took their hand away from the obedience of Sayyidina Ali, Karamallahu wajhahu. We are not going to listen to you. We are not going to obey you. Why? In the Battle of Siffin, when both parties retreated, no one was winner, no one was loser, it was equal. They both agreed to do tahkeem, call two judges, arbitrators, and they can judge and make sulh and peace between both parties. From the side of Hazrat Ali was Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu. From Hazrat Muawiyah's side was Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu. They both sat down, agreed on matters, wrote some points, brought them to Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Muawiyah. They both signed, okay, no problem, we agree to this. Now, a group from those who were in the army of Hazrat Ali, withdrew their hands and they said, no, we have nothing to do with this sulh. He said, we don't agree to this sulh. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, Inil hukmu illa lillah. Hukm is for Allah only. And why did you make these two hakam and judge among you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Whoever does not judge according to what Allah has sent down, they are kafirs. So they said, Ali is kafir, Muawiyah is kafir, everyone who supported him is kafir. And they gathered some momentum and they all assembled in one area in the suburbs of Kufa, which was named Harura. That's why they are called Haruriyah as well. And they used to go on a killing spree. They would come from that area into the city and they would kill, even children, babies, and they would steal, their sheep and goat and steal from the shops of Ahlus Sunnah. And they were causing chaos. So Hazrat Ali had to assemble an army and fight them. First, Hazrat Ali offered them tawbah, explained to them. He sent Ibn Abbas to them. Said, go Ibn Abbas, explain to them, perhaps they might understand. And beautiful advice of Hazrat Ali. Say, Ibn Abbas, go to them. Don't talk to them from Quran. Because Quran is a double-edged sword. You can use Quran for this purpose and for that purpose. You can twist the meaning of Quran. He said, talk to them from the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because sunnah of the Prophet cannot be twisted. Ibn Abbas said, Jazakallah for the advice. He went and he talked to them. He said, look, what is your demand? He said, he made judge and he made faisla and he wrote that faisla among this. Allah said, in hukmu illa lillah. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ. So Sayyidina Ibn Abbas explained to them, look, bhai, Allah is not going to come down to do the faisla. You have to sit down and talk among yourself and then do the faisla. Do you not see the sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the Sulh of Hudaybiyah? When with Quraysh there was battle, Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam did sulh with them and he wrote down the sulh agreement. And there's no confusion in there. It shows that you can do sulh, you can make people judge among yourselves. Do you not see that in the time of Banu Qurayza, Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam called Sa'd ibn Mu'az and he made him the hakam. And he was judged between Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam and Yahud Banu Qurayza, and he judged between the two. And they said, yes, you are right. There were 12,000 in numbers. 8,000 did tawbah and came and pledged their allegiance to Ali radiallahu anhu. 4,000 were stubborn. Hazrat Ali then, engaged in battle and he finished them off. And they had grudges against Hazrat Ali. And Ibn Muljim was from them. And he came and killed Hazrat Ali karamallahu wajhu on the 18th of Ramzan in the year 40 after Hijrah. This is why we say, any person who goes on killing spree, kills Muslims and leaves the kafir, is from Khawarij. Like ISIS. ISIS were not Muslims. They were agents of other people. They were killing Muslims. They never killed any kafir. They killed all Muslims. Like Khawarij were doing. So in Ali karramallahu wajhahu, there were two parties. And Huzur had prophesied this. This is little bit about Hazrat Ali, Hazrat Muawiyah, what Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. There's a lot that can be said, but this should be enough. What was the third point? We still got 2 points left. Time's up, but we'll finish it quickly inshallah. Sahaba's muhabbat is first. Hating any Sahabi is not allowed. In fact, if you call Abu Bakr kafir, Umar kafir, Aisha kafira, and Hafsa kafira, what happens? You become kafir. है ना? Muslim Sharif hadith. Man qala li akhihi kafir, faqad ba'a biha ahaduhuma. If you say to someone kafir, then one of the two will become kafir. So if you said to someone kafir, but he is not a kafir, he is a mu'min, then that takfir will return to you. Na'udzubillah. Allah bachai, Allah protect us. So we will check them out. But if you call Abu Bakr, do you call Abu Bakr kafir? Any Shia, any Razi who calls Abu Bakr kafir, Umar kafir, he himself will become kafir. Don't do takfir of Sahabis. It's huge, it's grave. So be careful in that matter. Number 4. What was the 4th point? The Futuhati Azima, which happened at the hands of Sahaba. You see history. You have to read the history of Sahaba, history of Islam. Very interesting history. Right? Khilafatul Khulafa, Suyuti, Khulafai Rashidin's Ahwal. This kitab, very beautiful, mentions the ayah. Surah Noor. وعد الله الذين آمنوا منكم وعملوا الصالحات ليستخلفنهم في الأرض كما استخلف الذين من قبلهم وليمكنن لهم دينهم الذي ارتضى لهم وليبدلنهم من بعد خوفهم أمنا يعبدونني لا يشركون بي شيئا ومن كفر بعد ذلك فأولئك هم الفاسقون. Allah's promise. Allah will give you istikhlaf, khilafat in the earth. Allah will give you tamkeen, establish you on the earth. وَلَيُمَكِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ دِينَهُمُ الَّذِي ارْتَضَىٰ وَلَيُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ خَوْفِهِمْ أَمْنًا. After your khawf and fear, Allah will exchange it for amn and safety and security. So, where did this istikhlaf, tamkeen came from? Sahaba. They are the ones who established the deen. You know, I know time is going ahead very fast, but I'm not going to let you go. You put me on this chair, you can't get me off it. This mic is mine now. सीधे सीधे बैठे रहो. जाना है तो जाओ, मुझे हमसे किसी को चेन से हम बांधेंगे नहीं, लेकिन मैं मजमून पूरा करूंगा. Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu statement. Hi, beautiful statement. मजा आएगा. Mishkat Sharif. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu said, Man kana mustannan falyastanna biman qad mat, fa inna al-hayya la tu'manu alayhi al-fitnah. أولئك أصحاب محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم كانوا أبر هذه الأمة قلوبا وأعمقها علما وأقلها تكلفا اختارهم الله لصحبة نبيه ولإقامة دينه فاعرفوا لهم فضلهم وتمسكوا بما استطعتم من سيرهم وأخلاقهم فهم كانوا على الهدى المستقيم. Ibn Mas'ud's statement. Beautiful. Whoever wants to follow, then let him follow those who have passed away. Ibn Mas'ud died in the year 33 after Hijrah. So who passed before Ibn Mas'ud? Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman's Khilafat was there. And other Sahaba, Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah, Muaz ibn Jabal, and the earlier Sahaba who became shaheed in the battles in Uhud, Mus'ab bin Umair, radiyallahu anhu, and the earlier Sahaba, Ammar ibn Yasir's parents, and others. He said, if you want to follow, make sure you follow them who have passed away. And he said, they are the Sahaba, Ashab Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then what did he say? كانوا أبر هذه الأمة قلوبا. They had the most pious hearts. Piety is in the heart, not on the zahir, it's in the batin. أبر هذه الأمة قلوبا وأعمقها علما. They had the most deepest knowledge. Their knowledge was deep, man. Our knowledge is superficial. Sahaba's knowledge was deep. Because where did they get the knowledge from? Direct from Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who can be more deeper in knowledge than the Sahaba? So if you get a fatwa of Sahabi, that's deep. He gets it from deep inside Quran, Hadith, and the maqsid of the Sharia. وَأَعْمَقَهَا عِلْمًا وَأَقَلَّهَا تَكَلُّفًا. They were the least in pretending. They never pretended to be something they're not. We pretend sometimes, what can Zahir find, mashallah. सूफी साफी और घर में गए तो प्राइवेट लाइफ खुदा की पना घर वाले भी तौबा करेंगे कोई इंसान है कि हैवान है लेकिन सहाबा जैसे घर में वैसे ही बाहर जैसे बाहर वैसे ही घर में नो प्रिटेंशन स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड सिंप्लिसिटी straight forward people every sahabi was aqallaha takallufan would not pretend to be what he's not his zahir and batin was same very nice people very soft very gentle very kind very nice sahaba in their ibadat there is khushu khudu the ibadat they do in masjid is the same ibadat they do in the house they stand in for long hours. They would never reveal their ibadat to people. They will never reveal their sacrifices to people. Once Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu said something that we were in the battle with Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam and this happened and we faced some hardships and we were going through hunger and then he realized, what have I said? I shouldn't have said this. You know, Sawab has gone, Sawab has faded away, I'm showing off. So immediately they realized, even though he was not sure, he was only mentioning. Because if he don't mention it, how can we understand? And Sahaba's sacrifice was amazing. There were battles in which they had nothing to eat. They would survive for 24 hours on one khajur. In some battles, they had no shoes and sandals. They wrapped some, pieces of cloth on their feet and they walked in the heat of the sun. There were battles in which they had nothing to have shade over their heads. So they used to put their hand over their heads to save them, or some chadar or something to protect them from the heat of the sun. And in those heats as well, they were fasting. They were keeping roza. Huzur had to tell them, roza rakho, you will get weak. So Sahaba were Sahaba. So these futuhat all happened at the hands of Sahaba. Ibn Mas'ud said, أَقَلَّهَا تَكَلُّفًا. And then futuhat, he said, اِخْتَارَهُمُ اللَّهُ لِصُحْبَةِ نَبِيهِ. Allah selected each and every Sahabi for the Sahabiyyat of Nabi Kareem. Abu Bakr was chosen, Umar was chosen, Uthman was selected, Ali was picked, Muawiyah was chosen, Mughira ibn Shu'bah was chosen, Amr ibn al-As was chosen. Any Sahabi, Allah picked them, plucked them, like you pick the best of the fruits. You see which orange is best, which grapes are the best, and then you pick them. For per se, you have to pay money anyway, so you might as well get the best fruit. Similarly, Allah picked each and every Sahabi from the humanity. Allah selected Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and He selected His Sahaba for him as well. Imagine, Allah made Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam the best. Would He not give him the best? So He gave him the best Sahaba as well. Every Sahabi was the best and perfectly selected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is اختارهم الله لصحبة نبيه ولإقامة دينه, and to establish His deen. He established the deen. Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam died after, at the age of 63, and Jazirah Arab was conquered in the lifetime of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But who took the deen far away from Jaziratul Arab? Who conquered Iran and Iraq and Persia and Syria and Levant? Who conquered the Hind and Sindh and Undulus and all those areas? Sahaba ridwanullahi ajma'in. This is their futuhat. وَلِإِقَامَةِ دِينِهِ. And he said, وَلِإِقَامَةِ فَعْرِفُوا لَهُمْ فَضْلَهُمْ. Recognize their virtue and fazilah. فَعْرِفُوا لَهُمْ فَضْلَهُمْ وَتَمَسَّكُوا بِمَا اسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن سِيَرِهِمْ وَأَخْلَاقِهِمْ. Hold on to their seerat and their akhlaq as much as you can. Because فَهُمْ كَانُوا عَلَى الْهُدَى الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. They were on the right guidance and the right course of action. Everything they did was right. So this is the fourth point. The fifth point was, we have to spread the fazail of Sahaba among the ummah, so the ummah can recognize. This is why today's program is kept. I hope you have learned a lot about the Sahaba, their fadilah, their virtues. I haven't even gone to the ayat of Quran in Surah Al-Fath with Muhammadur Rasulullah وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ وَشِدَّاءُ عَلَى الْكُفَّارِ رُحَمَاءُ بَيْنَهُمْ تَرَاهُمْ رُكَّعًا سُجَّدًا يَبْتَغُونَ فَضْلًا مِنَ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانَهُ. Hi. Sometimes they're in ruku, sometimes they're in sujood, seeking Allah's fazl, crying in front of Allah. سِيمَاهُمْ فِي وُجُوهِهِمْ مِنْ أَثَرِ السُّجُودِ. You can see the noor of their salat on their faces. It's not that black mark which happens over here. You can do that with a brown pen. It's the Noor which was visible on their faces. That is سيماهم في وجوههم من أثر السجود. ذلك مثلهم في التوراة ومثلهم في الإنجيل. Ajib, you go on. Sahaba, where's Sahaba? Nobody can come close to them. And then you go والسابقون الأولون من المهاجرين للفقراء المهاجرين الذين أخرجوا من ديارهم وأموالهم يبتغون فضلا من الله ورضوانا وينصرون الله ورسوله أولئك هم الصادقون. Sometimes Allah said أولئك هم الصادقون. They are the truthful ones. Allah said أولئك هم المفلحون. And Allah said أولئك هم الراشدون فضلا من الله ونعمة والله عليم حكيم. They are the Rashideen, guided ones. فضلا من الله ونعمة, truthful ones. They are the successful ones. This is all for Sahaba. So much so, Allah said فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا. Hi. This is until the day of Qiyamah. If people's iman is similar to the iman of the Sahaba, then they will be successful. If their iman is not like the iman of Sahaba, they will not be successful. بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا وَإِنْ تَوَلَّوْا فَإِنَّمَا هُمْ فِي شِقَاقٍ فَسَيَكْفِيكَهُمُ اللَّهُ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسِ. آمَنَ النَّاسِ is Sahaba. Sahaba's iman, our iman should be like the iman of Sahaba Ridwan. Their sacrifices. You know, once Hazrat Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi Rahmatullah alayhi, he was sitting and he was in some deep thought. So one of the khadims saw him and he said, Hazrat, do you need anything? Can I get something for you? And I said, no, I'm all right. But you are in some deep thought. क्या सोच रहे हैं? कि भाई मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ कि वो सहाबा को हजरत नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से जो इश्क था, उसका एक शिम्मा भी हमको मिल जाए तो हम कामयाब हो जाए. The ishq and the love that Sahaba had for Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, if we can get an atom's weight of that ishq, then we would be successful. They sacrificed everything. Ansar, Muhajirin, they sacrificed their money, their wealth, sacrificed their lives, sacrificed their children, families. They went out into the battles, they sacrificed everything. In the battle of Uhud, 70 Sahaba became shaheed. 60 plus of them were from Ansar. Because they had promised Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Makkah in the Bayati Aqaba that we will protect you and help you through thick and thin. Then they said it's our duty. They sacrificed their young ones. Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was attacked. Outright attack. Mushrikeen's whole group. And Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who's going to defend them? One Ansari Sahabi stood up and fought, shaheed. Another Ansari, shaheed. Another shaheed. 7 Sahaba. 7 Sahabi fell near the feet of Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They tried to protect him. Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam bring him closer. And that Ansari Sahabi's soul departed from this dunya while his cheek was on the feet of Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Who can get this honor? They sacrificed everything. One Sahabi comes to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and says, Ya Rasulullah, you know, this thought keeps bugging me. What? Say, Ya Rasulullah, over here, you know, you are among us. We come with you, we sit with you, we see you. Sometimes I can't sleep at night and you all sleep. So I just come here and I see you. I look at your face and I feel, Alhamdulillah. I go back home and I get nice. But in Jannat, you will be somewhere high above there and we will be somewhere down there. What good is that Jannat where we can't see you? I don't want that Jannat. I'd rather stay close to you. See that love for Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. How much they loved him. They couldn't get enough of him. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also realized the question is really good. He said, I don't know what to say. He remained silent. He waited for something from above. Allah sent Jibreel alayhi salam with the verse of Surah An-Nisa. وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِم مِّنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا ذَلِكَ الْفَضْلُ مِنَ اللَّهِ وَكَفَىٰ بِاللَّهِ عَلِيمًا. Whosoever obeys Allah and His Rasul, then they will be with the prophets, the Siddiqeen, the Shuhada, and the Salihin. And they are the most fitting and beautiful and excellent companions. And this is Allah's fadl, and Allah is sufficient to know everything. Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam called him, read this ayat to him, and said, don't worry, we will be there together as well. We will be able to see one another exactly like we see one another over here. We will meet and greet, and inshallah, we will have dawat in the Jannah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We will go and sit down with him and eat with him as well. Because we love him, we want to be close to him. Sahaba loved him. Sahaba will be more closer to him than us. So, Sahaba never ever have any ill feeling in your heart regarding any Sahabi, let alone criticizing a Sahabi, let alone bad mouthing a Sahabi. And if anyone bad mouths a Sahabi, don't listen to them. They are zanadiqa. I'm not saying this, Abu Zura Razi said this. Right? If anyone says bad things about Hazrat Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, switch him off. Don't listen to him. Why put your iman at risk? There are many bogus, stupid fools and people out there who go on YouTube and Facebook and say this type of stuff. One of them is, one recent one is Mirza engineer, Wali engineer Mirza hai na. Itna badmash khabis hai ki jiska koi hisab nahi. He is a mini Dajjal. He confuses people, bhai. He talks bad about Sahaba, he blurs anything out. What the Shia couldn't say, he's saying that type of stuff. He will go on quoting from Bukhari, वो सही बुखारी में से झूठ बोलता है, बहुत सी चीजें वो सही बुखारी वाले बुखारी में है ही नहीं. वो अगर बुखारी में है तो उसका तर्जुमा ट्विस्ट कर देता है और अपने मीनिंग के लिए उसको यूज करता है इसको, और लोग उसको एडमायर करते जाते हैं उसके ऊपर. मुफ्ती तकी उस्मानी ने पिछले दिनों कहा, नाम नहीं लिया, इशारतन किनायतन कहा, सहाबा को जो क्रिटिसाइज करते हैं वो इस लायक नहीं है कि उनकी बात सुनी जाए. इसी तरह और भी दूसरे हैं. वो एक मौलवी मोहम्मद इसहाक है, मर गया, वो तो बुढ़ा आदमी था, बहुत बकवास करता था सहाबा के बारे में, जो सहाबा के नाम के साथ रजी अल्लाह अन्हु भी न बोले, और मुआविया ऐसा था और मुआविया वैसा था. अरे तौबा अस्तगफिरुल्लाह, हजरत मुआविया के साथ ऐसी भी इतने बड़े आदमी हजरत मुआविया इब्न अबी सुफियान रजी अल्लाह अन्हु, सैयदुना मुआविया, हजरत मौलाना इलियास गुम्मन साहब Hafizahullah, he's got this whole bayan on Seerat of Hazrat Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. Listen to that bayan on Seerat of Sayyidina Muawiyah, how Allah Pak established the deen through him throughout many other countries where Islam had not reached in the time of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu. So we have to recognize their fadilat virtue. As for the matters which happen, which are indicated, misunderstandings among them, we should always keep our tongues safe. Like Hazrat Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, rahmatullahi alayhi. He was born in the year 60 and died in the year 101 after Hijrah. He became Khalifa in the year 99 and stayed Khilafat for 2.5 years. He was only 41 when he was poisoned and he died. He was asked, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he's not Sahabi, he is Tabi'i because he met Sahaba. So he was asked he did a lot of good work. What he did was he established the deen. He brought insaf and justice. And he revived the deen. The deen had been going down and Umar ibn Abdul Aziz brought it up. This is why he is regarded as the Mujaddid of the first century. Now, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz passes away poisoned. Abdullah ibn Mubarak rahmatullahi alayhi, who died in the year 189. Someone asked him, Abdullah, who is better, Muawiyah or Umar ibn Abdul Aziz? Because Umar ibn Abdul Aziz did so much good work. So Hazrat Muawiyah replied. Abdullah ibn Mubarak replied. अब टाइम पूरा हो गया, मेरा दिमाग भी चल रहा है, कहीं से कहीं जा रहे हैं. सॉरी, अब बंद करूंगा, अब 2 मिनट की बात फिनिश. Hazrat Abdullah ibn Mubarak rahmatullah alayhi replied, the dust which was in the nostril of the horse of Muawiyah when he was fighting side by side with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, fighting the enemies, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz cannot reach even that dust in the nose of that horse. Muawiyah is a Sahabi. How can you compare a non-Sahabi with a Sahabi? That's what Ibn Mubarak meant to say. And Umar ibn Abdul Aziz himself was asked about Mushajarat Sahaba. That what happened between Hazrat Ali and his Khusum. In Jangi Jamal, there was Ali on one side, Hazrat Aisha, Hazrat Talha, Hazrat Zubair radiyallahu anhum ajma'een were on the other side. So, Jangi Jamal, Jangi Siffin, Hazrat Ali radiyallahu anhu karramallahu wajhahu on one side, Hazrat Muawiyah, Hazrat Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu on the other side. And there was these ikhtilafat. So Umar ibn Abdul Aziz was asked, what do you say about these civil wars and internal battles and ikhtilafat? And Hazrat Umar ibn Abdul Aziz gave a beautiful reply. He said, تِلْكَ دِمَاءٌ طَهَّرَ اللَّهُ مِنْهَا سُيُوفَنَا فَلَا نُلَطِّخُ بِهَا أَلْسِنَتَنَا. There were feuds, bloods. Allah kept our swords clean from them. We will not dirty our tongues in them. They were both Sahabas. They were companions of Rasul Paas. I'm not going to say a single bad word about anyone. They were Sahaba. We respect them. And finishing off, there is principle in fiqh that a mujtahid is either musib or mukhti. Musib gets double reward, mukhti gets single reward. A person who does ijtihad and tries to come to a conclusion and he gets to the right conclusion will get double reward from Allah. One for his ijtihad, he's trying his best, and second for his isabat, for doing the right thing. And a mujtahid who tries his best, but he makes a mistake, he will get one reward because he still tried his best. So in these battles, if we say Hazrat Ali was musib, he'll get double reward. Hazrat Muawiyah was mukhti, but he will also get one reward. Right? And no doubt in these battles, Hazrat Ali was on haqq, as it transpired later on. Hazrat Ali was right, his opinion was right. He was unable to hold the qatilin of Usman, the murder of Usman, to take task instantly, immediately. He was trying to work on it. But the others were hastening and said, no, you should get rid of them quickly. Get rid of them from around you. But they were mistaken, it was their mistake. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha later on used to regret it. And when she would remember the Battle of Jamal, she would cry so much that her orni would get wet with her tears. See, I wish I never got into that problem. But what was destined in Taqdeer happened. Allah forgive me. And among them, with Masail, someone came to ask Hazrat Aisha for one mas'ala, and Hazrat Aisha said, go and ask Ali. He was with Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he knows these mas'ala better than me. If there was any grudge, animosity, would she say that? Never. So Hazrat Muawiyah used to mention Fadail of Hazrat Ali. So these are Sahaba. But the conclusion is, the 5 points, will you remember the 5 points? First is, Sahaba are Khairul Qurun, best of generations. Maulana Yusuf Sahab kept the title Golden Generation. They are the golden generation of Ummate Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? The last Sahabi to die. Who was the last Sahabi to die? Abu Tufail Amir ibn Wathila al-Asqa'i radiyallahu anhu. When did he die? 102 or 107 or 1103 calls in there. And among the other Sahaba, Anas ibn Malik was the last to die in Basra in 95 after Hijrah. Jabir ibn Abdullah was the last to die in Medina, somewhere around 72 or something, 75 after Hijrah. So in various areas, there were various Sahabas. So Sahabas, the last Sahabi was up to that era. These are the Sahaba. Sahaba's generation is the golden generation. Number 2, Sahaba are the wasta and medium between us and Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Number 3, love for Sahaba is farz and hatred of Sahaba is haram, is kufr and bughz and nifaq, as Imam Tahawi said. Number 4, we have to always keep in mind the futuhat, the conquests, the sacrifices. Nobody wants to leave their home. Do you want to leave your home and go somewhere else? No, Sahaba left their homes. In the beginning, they did hijrah from Makkah to Medina, and then they did hijrah from Medina to Iraq, to Sham, to Yemen, to wherever there was need. And they are scattered and spread out around the world. This is why Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, wherever my Sahabi is buried, On the day of Qiyamah, he will rise from his grave as a Noor for the whole area. Abu Ayyub Ansari is buried in Istanbul. He will come out in Istanbul as a Noor for the whole people of that area. A Sahabi. Sahabi is a Sahabi. There's so many virtues. Read Mishkat Sharif. I haven't even gone into that. And number 5, it is our duty to study the Sahaba and spread their fazail among our community, among our kids, and teach people about the manaqib and the fazail and the virtues of Sahabae Kiraam Ridwanullah Ajma'in, their sadaqat, their amanat, their diyanat, their nasihat lil Muslimin, their khushu, khuzu, their akhlaq, their adab. You know, it's beautiful to study their lives. May Allah give us tawfiq to study, learn, practice whatever we learn. May Allah Pak accept from us. Many ladies upstairs as well. MashaAllah, may Allah reward the ladies for coming too. And Maulana Naeem Saab is doing ishara about kitab. There's some kitabs at the back. Buy some if you can. तुमको इल्म मिलेगा, हमको पैसा मिलेगा, तुम्हारा भी फायदा, हमारा भी फायदा. हम ज़्यादा पैसे नहीं बनाते हैं, बहुत सस्ती किताब बेचते हैं तुम्हारे फायदे के लिए. तुमको स्पेशल डिस्काउंट भी मिलेगा. स्पेशली इसमें गिफ्ट फॉर रमज़ान है, ले जाओ. रमज़ान के मसले मसाइल उसमें अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बहुत अच्छे कवर करती है. मसाइल ऑफ रमज़ान, मसाइल ऑफ रोज़ा, मसाइल ऑफ ज़कात, मसाइल ऑफ तरावी are in there. You will benefit from there. It's only about 3-4 pounds. Buy it if you can. May Allah accept. Ladies as well, ऊपर भी किताबें रखी हैं, खरीदती जाए. Many times ladies ज़्यादा खरीदती हैं जेंट्स से, क्योंकि वो असल पैसे पूंजी वहाँ है ना, ट्रेजर खजाना वहाँ है. उनके पूछे बगैर हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं. मैं भी अपनी बीवी से डरता हूँ, उनको पूछ के सब काम करता हूँ. सब डरते हैं, कौन नहीं डरता बीवी से. सुब्हानकल्लाहुम्मा व बिहम्दिका अशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता नस्तगफिरुका व नतूबु इलैक. अल्लाहुम्मा लकल हम्दु व लकश शुक्र. اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. परवरदिगार आलम हमारा ये उठना बैठना कहना सुनना कबूल फरमाइए. परवरदिगार आलम हमें आपकी मोहब्बत अता फरमाइए. आपके पाक पैगम्बर अलैहिस्सलाम की मोहब्बत अता फरमाइए. आपके पाक पैगम्बर अलैहिस्सलाम के तमाम सहाबाए किराम रिज़वानुल्लाहि अलैहिम अजमईन की मोहब्बत अता फरमाइए. आपके पैगम्बर अलैहिस्सलाम के अहले बैत और आपकी फैमिली, आपके तमाम फैमिली मेंबर्स, आपकी अज़वाज मुतहरात, आपकी बनाते ताहिरात, आपके नवासे, आपके सादात और हज़रत हसन हुसैन और पूरे ख़ानदान और कुंबे की मोहब्बत हमको नसीब फरमाइए. और या अल्लाह हमारे जवानों और बच्चों और बूढ़ों के दिलों में भी सहाबा और अहले बैत दोनों की मोहब्बत को पैवस्त फरमाइए. और सहाबा को स्टडी करने और उनके अखलाक को अपनाने की तौफीक नसीब फरमाइए. हमारे इस जलसे को कबूल फरमाइए. या अल्लाह इसको मुफीद बनाइए. जो कोई जहाँ कहीं सुन रहा है, दुआ में शामिल है, उसके लिए इसको मुफीद बनाइए. परवरदिगार आलम हमारी टूटी फूटी दुआएं कबूल फरमाइए. पूरी उम्मत पर रहम फरमाइए. उम्मत पर से परेशानियों का खात्मा फरमाइए. पूरी उम्मत को चैन सुकून इत्मीनान नसीब फरमाइए. ज़ालिमियत और मज़लूमियत दोनों से बचाइए. फ़िलिस्तीन पर खुसूसी रहम फरमाइए. मस्जिद अक़सा की हिफाजत फरमाइए. गज़्ज़ा की हिफाजत फरमाइए. शहीदों की मग़फ़िरत करके दर्जात बुलंद फरमाइए. ज़ख्मियों के लिए इलाज मुआलजा के असबाब नसीब फरमाइए. बीमारों को शिफा अता फरमाइए. भूखे प्यासों को दाना पानी नसीब फरमाइए. जो बेचारे कैद में महबूस हैं उनको बाआफियत रहाई और छुटकारा नसीब फरमाइए. जिनको अपने घरों से महज रब्बुनल्लाह कहने की वजह से निकाल दिया गया है, उनको या अल्लाह सर पर कोई रूफ नसीब फरमाइए, शेल्टर नसीब फरमाइए. उनको उनकी ज़मीन और उनका इलाका वापस नसीब फरमाइए. ज़ालिमों ने जो नुकसान किया है उसकी तलाफ़ी फरमा दीजिए. ज़ालिमों के हक़ में हिदायत है तो नसीब फरमाइए, नहीं है तो आप ही उनसे निमट लीजिए. आप फ़िरौन से भी निमटे थे, नमरूद, क़ारून और शद्दाद से भी आप निमटे थे. या अल्लाह इसी तरह आप इस दौर के फ़िरौनों से भी निमट लीजिए. और या अल्लाह पूरी उम्मत को चैन सुकून अता फरमाइए. उम्मत पर से या अल्लाह इन हालात को दूर फरमाइए. या अल्लाह उम्मत को भी हिदायत नसीब फरमाइए. राह रास्त पर ले आइए. हिंदुस्तान के मुसलमानों पर भी खुसूसी रहम फरमाइए. मसाजिद की शहीद होने से हिफाजत फरमाइए. मदारिस की हिफाजत फरमाइए. उलमाए किराम की हिफाजत फरमाइए. पाकिस्तान के हालात भी दुरुस्त फरमाइए. सियासी बहरान को ख़त्म फरमाइए. स्टेबिलिटी नसीब फरमाइए. या अल्लाह मुल्क की मईशत और इकनॉमी की भी हिफाजत फरमाइए. तमाम इस्लामी ममालिक की हिफाजत फरमाइए. हमारी टूटी फूटी दुआएं सुन लीजिए. रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम. परवरदिगार आलम हमारी इस मस्जिद की भी हिफाजत फरमाइए. इसकी अइम्मा हज़रात, कमेटी हज़रात, کمیونٹی کی بھی حفاظت فرمائیے. جو کچھ یہاں پر معمولات، اشغال، اوراد وجود میں آتے ہیں ان سب کو شرف قبولیت عطا فرمائیے. اور یا اللہ اس مسجد کو پورے علاقے والوں کے لیے رشد اور ہدایت کا ایک مرکز اور سینٹر بنائیے. یہاں پر جو مکتب اور مدرسہ چلتا ہے اس کو بھی قبول فرمائیے. مولانا یعقوب قاضی صاحب اور ان کی تمام ٹیم کی محنتوں کو قبول فرمائیے. اور یا اللہ سب کے لیے یا اللہ اس خدمت کو ذخیرِ آخرت ذریعے نجات بنائیے. ہماری ٹوٹی پھوٹی دعائیں سن لیجئے. مولانا یوسف صاحب، مولانا قاری محمد صاحب اور دیگر تمام حضرات کی، علماء کرام کی جو یہاں موجود ہیں، سب خدمات کو قبول فرمائیے. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا انك انت التواب الرحيم وصلى اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه اجمعين برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين.
Jazakumullah khairan to